The Houthi supreme leader, Abdulmalik al-Houthi, has reinforced their strategic objective of destroying Israel, indicating no end to their aggression even with potential ceasefires. This stance poses a serious threat to international shipping, particularly through the strategic Red Sea route, risking broader regional instability. With the ongoing conflict in Yemen, Houthi attacks on maritime vessels and infrastructure continue to escalate, prompting concerns among regional stakeholders and the international community about the security of vital trade routes and the stability of the region as a whole. Iran's military ambitions are expanding as they leverage military exports to enhance their geopolitical influence in Africa. Recent negotiations with Niger and efforts to secure a naval base in Sudan exemplify Iran's strategic use of defense exports to bolster regional ties and project power. By providing military equipment, training, and support to African nations, Iran aims to establish itself as a key player in the continent's security landscape, thereby strengthening its position in the broader geopolitical arena. This strategy aligns with Iran's long-term objectives of countering Western influence and expanding its sphere of influence. Iran's influence in Africa is growing, marked by their military and economic engagements with several African nations. This includes hosting the Iran-Africa Trade Summit, aiming to solidify alliances and extend Iran's influence across the continent. With increasing investments in infrastructure projects, energy deals, and cultural exchanges, Iran seeks to establish itself as a significant player in Africa's development and geopolitics. However, this expansion of influence has raised concerns among Western powers and regional rivals, who view Iran's presence in Africa as a challenge to their interests and influence in the region. The potential establishment of a permanent Iranian naval base in Sudan underscores Iran's intent to fortify its position along critical maritime routes. Such developments could enable more assertive Iranian actions in international waters, impacting global shipping lanes. With Sudan strategically located at the Red Sea entrance, a naval base would allow Iran to project power and influence over key maritime choke points, posing significant challenges to regional and international maritime security efforts. This development has raised alarm bells among neighboring countries and global powers, heightening concerns about escalating tensions and potential conflicts in the region. Iran and its allies within the axis of resistance continue to pose threats to Israel's security, with repeated calls for an unofficial blockade and military actions intended to isolate Israel geopolitically and militarily. Supported by proxies such as Hezbollah and Hamas, Iran seeks to challenge Israel's regional dominance and undermine its security through asymmetric warfare and diplomatic maneuvers. The axis of resistance aims to weaken Israel's position in the Middle East and establish Iran as the preeminent power in the region, reshaping the geopolitical landscape to align with its interests and objectives. An Iranian-backed Bahraini militia, Saraya al-Ashtar, has reportedly conducted drone strikes against Israeli interests, including a recent attack on the Israeli port city of Eilat. These actions highlight the ongoing military tensions and the broader regional repercussions. Saraya al-Ashtar's operations represent Iran's strategy of using proxy groups to advance its agenda and target adversaries indirectly, allowing Iran to exert influence and project power while maintaining plausible deniability. The escalation of hostilities between Iranian proxies and Israel raises concerns about the potential for wider regional conflicts and the effectiveness of international efforts to de-escalate tensions. Despite proposals for ceasefires in Gaza, the underlying tensions remain high. Hamas's refusal to cease hostilities reflects a persistent cycle of conflict, complicating efforts for sustained peace and challenging international diplomatic endeavors. The recent escalation of violence in Gaza underscores the fragile nature of ceasefire agreements and the complexities of resolving long-standing conflicts in the region. With multiple actors involved and divergent interests at play, achieving lasting peace in Gaza continues to be a formidable challenge, requiring concerted efforts from the international community and regional stakeholders to address underlying grievances and build trust between conflicting parties.